And rising navigators, I hope you're all doing well. I have such an urgent message right now that I have makeup on from yesterday. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, buddy. All right, so I'm going to tell you why I'm so passionate about astrology. It's because it doesn't let you down. It is a blueprint, a cheat code, if you will, to our lives. There is a reason why they want you to think it's some cheesy ass Sunday horoscope, right? There's a reason why they made a joke out of it. And I love it, the saying that scientists don't have astrologers, billionaires do. Because when you know what's coming next, you can plan accordingly, right? So I'm going to do a full report later on after I get my kids settled and all that. But in the meanwhile, got some homework for y'all. I'd love if you would go to DuckDuckGo, Google if you got Google, whatever, but DuckDuckGo preferably, and look up the history of Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. Go ahead, read that, and then take a look around in the world and let me know if you see any similarities. This is why I'm so passionate about astrology, because it won't let you down. It's not going to let you down. It's going to make sure you know what to prepare for. It also gives you the advice on, what shadows may come up within yourself or in the world. And if you are aware that those shadows are going to come up within yourself, then it's a lot easier to put yourself in line, right? Deal with yourself. Deal with those emotions, those feelings. So it's a good thing. And I believe I found my place as being the translator. Not so much showing you the charts, because there's plenty of people, there's plenty of good astrologers out there that will go over the charts and everything else with you. There's plenty of tarot readers. However, there's not enough people translating what that means. What all this means. Pluto is a planet of death and destruction. It comes through and it will take out what no longer serves us, what's no longer working, such as the old system, the old ways. And it's going to clear the slate so we can then grow. And this is the cycle of life. So for us to see Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn, for us to live through this, we are a part of history. We are forever in this history, in this time. My phone died. Sorry about that. So I understand. It could feel like somebody's about ready to just take the carpet out, all the footing out from underneath you. You could feel like everything is just going to fall apart. You may be experiencing extreme anxieties, or feeling like you just want to give up. But I'm asking you not to. You've made it this far. And to tap out now, it's like walking away from a show right as it starts. We have to, as I've been saying since I started this channel, we have to clear the old out before we can bring the new in. And that goes for the system, relationships. It goes for souls that are tired. It's hard. There's going to be a lot of loss. There has been a lot of loss. And it's never easy to lose anybody. But that's part of the contract. Is that there's some souls that are just, that don't want to ride through this. They're ready to go home. If you go back to when I first started this channel, I talked about how this time there was going to be a lot of souls going home. And we were all on a divine level, on a higher consciousness sort of level, given the choice to either stay here for this battle and be a part of it, or go home and rest. Home is in the spirit world. Pass on to leave this life. And remember, we're energy. We never truly... You cannot destroy us. We will always live in one form or another. Always. So for anybody that's lost anyone, just to know that they are right there with you through this battle. When you are crying at the bottom of a shower, in bed, in a corner, because your heart hurts so bad, know that they are right there with you. They are right there, wiping your tears. But there's going to be a lot of loss. There's going to be a lot of change. We are clearing out an entire system. The last 300 years. Last 248 or so. That's what we're clearing out. So, is it 28? Anyhow, it's almost 300 years worth of energies. So, hold on, hold in there. I can't talk straight. Just hold on. Things are going to work out. As long as you've done the work, as long as you've stayed the course. Doesn't mean that we don't fall off the course every once in a while. But what counts and what matters is that you got back up and you got back on that path and you continued that work. What work? Self-reflection. Taking a look at your own shadows. Are you listening to the calling you're receiving? I mean, we all have this calling, there's something more. There's a reason why we keep going, even though, people paint the spiritual experience, the spiritual journey, the awakening, the whole ascending, the whole ascension. They paint it like it's rainbows and butterflies. But we know better. We know that it is the most extreme challenge you'll ever face. To face yourself. And to not become your own victim. If you're feeling like you're a victim right now, then I highly, highly, highly advise you take a step back and reassess. Because you might just end up the victim. It is self-sabotage at this point. Stay the course. It's worth it. It's worth it. It is so worth it. And we are right there. To give up now will be the biggest mistake you'll ever make. Don't give up now. Don't start slacking. Don't start zoning off and, tapping out, becoming numb. It's good to self-care. It's good to, rest. And it's good to recoup. It's good to recharge. Everybody needs a day to veg. It doesn't mean go hard every single day. What does it mean? It means to do what you feel. It means to listen to that inner voice. Right? Because that's our higher self, our higher consciousness guiding us. When we do something and we don't want to do it. Like, we have zero desire to do it, but we do it just because we feel like that's what's expected of us. That's not doing any for yourself. You're never gonna, you will forever be doing it for somebody else. And they will always be the ones feeling that reward, not you. You will always be the one that's being put out. So at this point in time, look at yourself in the mirror and know your own worth. If you are listening to this right now, you are resilient and you are stronger than over 80% of this population. That's just facts. It doesn't matter that I'm not talking about what your diet is. I'm not talking about what your exercise routine is. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not talking about what books do you read. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about, are you following your soul? Are you listening to what your soul is saying? Are you following that feeling, that passion, that gut instinct? Are you listening to your higher self, your guides, your ancestors? They're all directing you. Just don't become the victim. Don't self-sabotage. Don't become your own victim. It's the greatest mistake you make right now. Self-pity. And I am speaking from experience on that one. You know, it's been a really challenging, the most challenging few years of my life, by far. And at the same time, the most blessed years of my life. Strange, right? I don't know. It's such a challenge because to have those thoughts, feeling shattered. You know, you think so many people care, and they're, you know, being honest and truthful, and they're definitely your friend, it's support, you know, whatever. All sorts of different relationships, from family to love to friendship, all of it, career. You think you know. And then you fall down and you realize who really is there for you, who really does understand. Try all of a sudden, just one day. I mean, y'all know. One day you're walking along, everything's just normal. You just like, just normal, like anybody else. Yeah, sure, black sheep, but life's normal. You know, the things out of your mouth are not that crazy. And then one day everything changes. And all of a sudden you're talking about angels, spirit, all that other stuff. And you see who thinks what. Who really thinks what of you. Who really is there to support you no matter what. It's almost like within these last few years, between getting sick and, barely being able to make it out of bed, to going through this whole spiritual experience. I mean, it's always been a part of me. It's always been a part of who I am. I've always been down for the universe leading my way, right? I've always been, but speaking, I didn't realize I was speaking with spirit this entire time. I've always had conversations with myself. Only, it's with myself is just not with myself. That's a story for another time. But going through all that, it's like I thought everybody, after everything we've all been through, they know me. They know who I am. They know me. They know me. And the stuff coming out of my mouth, I thought it shocked me that people were not actually taking me serious. Because I found out how many people really truly thought that I was just some gullible, naive person listening to whatever I'm listening to on the internet. And the funny thing is at that point, I wasn't even on social media. And I wasn't even listening to social media. I had no idea I was saying stuff that other people were saying at that point. Everybody just took me as crazy at that point. And then for the next few years, nobody wanted to even have a conversation, because surface conversations just didn't work at that point. They still, they really don't anymore. Like, surface conversation, it's just so much deeper than that. There's so much more to it. And you realize that, I thought the majority of people saw what I saw, see what I see. I guess, I didn't realize they don't. Many of you do. Many of us are on the same page. And the thing about it is even if we're vastly different, we have that mutual respect. We know that we can learn from one another, right? And I thought that's, we all understood that. And then the last few years happened, and it's like, what in the, wow, how backwards have we gone? Crazy. So definitely see a world splitting apart, right? So, all right, well, if I make this any longer, I'm not going to be able to connect the two videos, so I will, tomorrow morning you should have the full astrology report out, or energy report, whatever we want to call it, the astral report. Okay, so yeah, that'll be out here shortly. So look for that, and hang in there. It's about to get super intense, like really intense. If you think it's intense right now, you haven't seen nothing yet. So hang in there, smile. Like, know you're badass. Just know that. Just know you're super badass. Especially if you've made it to this point in the video listening to me ramble. You're badass. You're definitely badass. You have every reason to hold your head high. Alright? Alright. Much love, guys.